So the next video summary we have here is over Chapter 7 and Chapter 8. Chapter 7 is about ethics, social responsibility, and the business manager. Some objectives we'll talk about in Chapter 7 are what the definition of business ethics and social responsibility are, some theories of ethicals that are thought, the code of ethics, school of social responsibility, global dimensions of ethics and social responsibility. So what is ethics? Ethics is a study that what makes up good and bad conduct. It's inclusive of related actions and values. Business ethics is a study of what makes up good and bad conduct as related to business activities and values. The social responsibility of a business is the concern of a business and titles about or entities about profit-seeking and non-profit-seeking activities and their unintended impact on others directly and indirectly involved. Businesses are required to be socially responsible due to the following factors: the complexity and the interdependence of society, the political influence that translated public outcry into government regulations, and the philosophical differences over the role of business. Some theories of ethical what ethical is brought up is the consequential theories, and its acts are judged good or bad. The genealogical theories and its actions can be judged good or bad based on the rules and principles. And the humanist theories, which are actions are evaluated by good or bad depending on whether they contribute to improving human capacities such as intelligent wisdom and self-restraint. Individual code of ethics are adopted from parents, religion, peers, siblings, environment. So a lot of the things that we learn as we're growing up from kids helps make you as a person and build your ethics. So for example, my dad would always teach me to hold the door open for people when they're coming into the building. That's something that I do. That is something that I've adopted from my parents. From my siblings, I've always learned to be respectful to others. And from my teachers, I've learned how to work hard and get things that I need. The corporate code of ethics, they apply to upper and middle level managers, and they're implemented by the chief executive officers and establish sanctions for deviant behavior. Some forbidden actions of the code of ethics: paying bribes to foreign government officials, fixing prices, giving gifts, using inside information, revealing trade secrets. So, a example here of forbidden actions that we see. We hear a lot about the NCAA, about bribes going to top athletes so they can go to the choice schools that they want. Some schools of social responsibility are profit-oriented schools, and what that is, the sole purpose is to increase profits for shareholders. Managerial school, they make claims on the entity's resources. And institutional school and business entities have responsibility to act in a manner that benefits all society. So I would think we mostly say profit oriented because most people in business and people that invest in business are there to make money. And in Chapter 8, we're talking about international legal environment of business. And some objectives here are dimensions of international environment business, methods of engaging, risk of engaging, and legal things. So dimensions of international business are political, economic, cultural, and legal. Some political dimensions that you have to take in when doing international business is all the different types of governments that there are. Not everyone is a democrat or democracy. We have totalitarian states and many other economic factors. Each country has its own economy, and each economy in each countries are very different from where you are. The cultural is probably the most important dimension of international business, because we're all from every country's from different parts of the world. We're all raised on different things. For example, language and religion are the two biggest. We have to realize that there's more than one religion and one language when doing business. Some legal dimensions when doing international business are the nation's legal system that you want to go into, and international law. International law governs relationships between nation states. Some sources that help that are customs. So whenever you go in and out of a country, you always have to go through customs to make sure you're not bringing things in and out that you need. Treaties, judicial decisions, scholarly writings, and international organizations like NAFTA. Laws that govern international business are exit visas, work permits, tax treaties, NAFTA, the EU, and the World Trade Organization. Some methods for engaging international trade are trade, licensing, franchising, and foreign direct investment. There's also one other one that I believe that would be engaging in international business, and that's outsourcing. And we have seen a lot of that lately. So outsourcing is companies sending out jobs to other countries because other countries can do that at cheaper cost, which makes more money for the company here in the United States. Exporting goods and services from a country and importing goods or services into a country is the main international business that every country does. International licensing is agreements by which a company makes property available to foreign company for payment. International franchising is where the licensor permits a licensee to market and trade market goods in a particular nation. And some risk of engaging in international business are private property by the host company. They might take it. For example, there was a beer bottle company in Australia. I can't think of the name, but they allowed the United States to go down there, make the beer bottles, and sell them in the host country of Australia. Or not Australia. It was somewhere in South America. I'm sorry, it was not Australia. But they decided then they were going to take over the factory so they could have that money for themselves. And then export and import controls, because each country can have its own taxes on the different things that you're going in and out, and they can make those taxes. And if you want to do business in there, that's part of it. So exportation is taking away private property. As I said earlier, the country in South America did that. And some of like the organizations in the world that help trade go on, the World Trade Organization, European Union, and NAFTA. Some impacts of each of these has are political union, unity of law, and that is what. Oh.